From a strictly pre-Islamic Arab perspective, people were conditioned to depend heavily on human instinct and interpretation. Life in the desert didn't feel random or empty of intention. Survival itself depended on reading the environment closely. People read signs everywhere, in weather, in timing, in animals, in dreams, and in unexpected encounters. Nothing was assumed to be purely due to chance. It was either a sign, a warning, or a message that required reflection. With the arrival of Islam, this instinct didn't disappear, but was reframed through the concept of AlQadar, which is understood as predestination or divine decree. Within this framework, events were not random. They were part of a wider structure governed by God's knowledge and will. This means that what appears as chance occurrence is often understood as something that was already written. That phone call that you got from your long-lost friend wasn't random. It was meant to be, predestined, divinely willed. As are the more difficult and challenging moments in life, say when COVID interrupted a move to a different country, or when a friend's wedding suddenly fell through. These we also consider part of AlQadar. We actually have a word for such occurrences, khira. It's an interpretation of a belief that certain events appearing difficult or confusing may actually be blessings in disguise. With this mindset, what seems like disruption may later reveal a beneficial outcome or hidden wisdom. Khira reinforces the idea that Al-Qadr is not only about fixed destiny, but also about trust in outcomes that unfold over time in ways that may not be immediately understood. So if the servant in the story had just taken a breath, avoided any knee-jerk reaction, and simply went about his business, maybe a much longer and fulfilling life was in store for him. Maybe even consider the chance-frightful meeting with death as a moment of khira, when he could have reassessed his approach to life and changed his ways. What happened was the opposite. The servant actively and intentionally moved towards his own self-fulfilling destiny. Taken together, human instinct and Al-Qadr form a layered way of interpreting randomness. Instead of seeing events as triggered by chance, they are placed within an equation of meaning, intention, and eventual wisdom, even when that meaning is not immediately clear. Please check out our new course on how to navigate Arab identity in today's world, how to define and pinpoint yourself within the various tensions found in the duality of tradition and modernity, the foundations that make us unique, even our contradictions. Unapologetically Arab is a 13-chapter course intent on helping anyone interested in appreciating what it means to be an Arab. Join now by clicking on the link in the video description at either Thinkific or Patreon, and begin your empowering journey of Arab discovery. In the modern world, we see randomness all around us. Modern thinking is shaped by calculation, probability, and statistics. From this perspective, events don't carry inherent meaning. They are explained through data, patterns, and chance, and the absence of meaning. Science often tells us that what we call coincidences are not special events in themselves. They're the result of many small probabilities overlapping. Modern psychology adds another layer to this explanation. It suggests that coincidences are often a fabrication of the human mind. There's this tension between the conscious and subconscious mind. The subconscious is constantly processing information in the background. It picks up on details that we don't actively notice. Then the conscious mind interprets later events as meaningful connections. Carl Jung explored this tension in different ways. Jung introduced the idea of synchronicity, where events appear meaningfully connected even if there was no causal link. He suggested that these experiences feel real and significant to individuals, even if they can't be explained through traditional scientific causality. And that's what modernity has given us. It's given us a term called coincidence, a label for events that feel meaningful but cannot be explained through clear cause and effect. Coincidence becomes something unexplainable. It becomes a known unknown. We acknowledge that something happened, we measure its likelihood, but we don't assign it any deeper meaning. And that's kind of where we stand. The struggle between both thinking that we're a minuscule interconnected atom within God's master plan, and the opposite, the ambitions that we are the creatures of our own device, human will in its absolute form. We as Muslims have faith in the preordained events that happen across our whole spectrum of life, like getting sick, winning a prize. And whether we can have or can't have children. It's a part of how we deal with success and failure, a part of our daily lingo. Inshallah, Allah yastir, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Yes, it's this understanding of AlQadar that helps us temper both extremes, the highs and lows of life, and helps us survive uncertainty. The modern notion of coincidence as a byproduct of either a gazillion possibilities or a mystical synchronicity attempt to hold our expectations of meaning in check, that humans are cut off from any larger energy or power or a master plan, that they can manifest their own path into whatever fate they themselves work and push toward. From a neutral's perspective, I truly don't see how these two positions of AlQadar and the modern interpretation of coincidence as very different. On the contrary, they can be looked upon as a harmony of contradictory ideas, almost dialectical in nature. The science-driven infinite possibilities, or philosophical alternative realities, and all these modern developments, aren't they exactly the embodiment of the miracle of faith and the clear-cut representation of a higher power's omnipotence and omniscience? Many younger Muslim generations struggle with this framing. Even though they have the foundations of Islamic belief, they still don't accept what seems to them as a fatalism of it all, that nothing can change. If so, then why resist if everything is written? This is where there's a clear misunderstanding. It's not about not having any control, choice, or impact on your life, or the outcomes born from your efforts. It's not helplessness. A simple saying by the Prophet Muhammad completely destroys this misunderstanding. He said, "Tie your camel, then trust in God." The sequence of the words is critical here. Secure the camel, make sure it can't wander off, take action in life. Then put your trust in the higher power. Perhaps the real question is not whether every coincidence carries meaning, nor whether every unexpected event can be explained through logic or probability. The more important question is whether we're paying enough attention when these moments arrive. Too often we rush past them. We celebrate the fortunate ones without reflection, and we resent the difficult ones without pause. In the highs of life, they can remind us to remain humble. In the lows, they can encourage patience and perspective. Yet both contain lessons that are only visible to those willing to observe carefully. Awareness doesn't require us to abandon reason, nor does it require us to search for hidden messages in everything. It simply asks us to become better students of our own lives, to stop, to reflect, and to ask what an event might be teaching us. Sometimes there will be a clear explanation. Sometimes there will be a deeper meaning. Sometimes there will be both. Whether we call it coincidence, fate, destiny, or AlQadar, these moments invite us to look more closely at the path we're walking. They challenge us to reassess our choices, our priorities, and our direction. Perhaps the value of these moments lies not in proving where they came from, but in what they reveal about us when they arrive. Our response to them may matter far more than our ability to explain them.